Let's see here. All right, so obviously my name is Joe Macdonald. I'm the Regional Financial Consultant for Farm Bureau. What that means is I work with a lot of clients of all the agents throughout the state. So I'm going to do a little bit of a fast pace. We'll go over a little bit about me outside of work and kind of where I came from, why finance, my process, ideal referrals, and then how to introduce me. So I was born in Maine, hence the Patriots fan. And then on a farm in a family business. The only thing we ran was the apple orchard and then car dealerships. And yes, apples right off the tree are delicious, and Maine is beautiful. So my brother and I had very different birthdays. He was born in August in Maine, I was born in February. So while he got to do this, I had to do that. Then my parents kind of figured it out. That is not a safety-approved way to ride a motorcycle for a kid, by the way, but my parents said, let's start going to warm beaches. That was a good decision on their part. And yes, I was very fashion-forward back in the day. So in college, you kind of go through the fast years a little bit. I went to school in upstate New York, Australia, and France. Most of that evidence has been sealed, though, to protect the innocent. We won't go into that, but I love to see beautiful places around the world. So I've seen many of them, and there are a lot more to explore. I look forward to doing that. So work, travel, eat, travel, work, sleep sometime, maybe when I'm dead, but a lot of beautiful places. That's Munich. That's me in my super drinker outfit with my old business partner. And yes, those are little boy shorts there. But so then fast forward to 2007-8. I'd moved to Houston, was building a real estate empire, so to speak, and I ran a private bank as their national sales manager. Hurricane Ike took away a lot of those distractions like money and other things like that, so that I could find my reason for being. So Christy's 6 feet tall. She'll say she's 5'12". I don't know what that means. When I met her, she wore flats all the time. Now she'll wear heels, so she'll be like 6'4" out. It's great. Shortly after we got married, about 9 months and a half to the date, Joey came along. That's her being an Eagles fan for one day and him taking her out in his Tom Brady jersey. Now that's at Fenway Park. That was his first trip there. And I just love this picture. I don't know why. We popped the pig. We do a lot of fun games at home. I love to golf, travel, running, yoga, things like that. That's my son coming back from St. Bart's, his little blonde hair that he usually doesn't have. But I just like that picture. And I actually got up and down from that. That's in Michigan, where my wife's from. Arcadia Bluffs on the lake there. No idea how I did that, but it was fun. So passionate work that I do outside of that is early detection for childhood diseases and defects. So my niece had a heart defect that was discovered because she had a cold. The doctor said there's something strange going on in there. And so because of that, she was able to have open heart surgery and repair that. My nephew Kyan had a concussion, didn't get better fast enough, and they discovered that there was leukemia. Because of that, he was able to be cured quicker than the normal treatment process because they discovered them early. That's my son, and his one of my good friends is in the Air Force as a fighter pilot, and so that's the actual helmet he flew thousands of hours with there. So, why financial advisor? So after I liquidated the private bank that I was national sales manager for, which was a lot of fun. I got a real estate license in a few states to keep the cost of selling the company down, which, as everybody remembers, 2008, 9, 10, that was a lot of short sales. Very emotionally draining. It was rewarding, but it was not what I set out to do in life. So I wanted to find another career where I could help people to not make some of those same mistakes that I had made and a lot of people kind of found themselves caught up into, but also be very impactful for their lives. And then the other side of that is, growing up in a family business, my dad worked all the time. He was a great provider. Car business, but he worked all the time. So I wanted to see if there's a way to spend time and also make some money to have a better quality of life and traveling. So I got into finance. What's important in finance? There are things that I bring up in the beginning because they ultimately come up with clients, right? Confidentiality is key. Just like when you go to the doctors, you have to tell them a lot of private information so that they can give you the proper diagnosis. But we don't share it out there, except in private jokes behind your back. But no, that's completely not what happens. But that compensation, I also like to go over that with people up front because we can do fee-based planning or we can get commissions from insurance or mutual fund sales. It depends on what's appropriate for the client at that time. Another great way we're compensated is through referrals. So you introduce us to more people, we can spend more time with our clients instead of out looking for more people. What is the process that we go through? It's pretty simple. We've actually condensed it quite a bit. Instead of having 5, 6, 7 meetings like the old financial planning process used to be, sit down with a client, we'll make sure that we're a good fit to work together, and we get a lot of information from you about what's going on in your life and what you'd like to see happen in your life. Then we take that, we do all of our work, run the numbers, do the financial plan, present to you the strategy that we would do as if you were our family or friends, what's right for you. But the ultimate thing is we want to make sure that you let us know what you like and don't like, because we can advise, but you're going to be the one living the actual plan. Then implementation, that's the paperwork, and we get to fund the accounts. It's exciting. And then the most important part is the super check. That's following up at least annually to make sure the plan is still appropriate for you. You can have a great plan in place, and then the next day your life changes, and it's no longer appropriate. The great poet Mike Tyson once said, everybody's got a plan until they get hit in the face. So we want to be there for both sides. Areas that we work. Retirement planning is the biggest one. Education funding is another area. Estate analysis. This is what drives a lot of the referrals to the group, right? Major purchases, asset allocation and investments, tax optimization, risk management. Those are areas we help people with. So pop quiz. Anybody, just shout them out, know what the except for Eddie, the highest tax rate in history, highest income tax rate in history in the United States was? 94%. Rebuilding the country after World War II. That's why Ronald Reagan only made 2 movies a year, because after, he also lived in California, he only got a couple of pennies on the dollar. So will tax rates increase or decrease in the future?
Yes.
A lot of people think that they will increase by retirement time and whatnot. That's what the Magic 8 Ball says, but nobody has one of those. So why are people putting so much money away in their 401ks and IRAs when they might be paying more in taxes in the future? That's a big conversation Eddie has with people because they're told to. That's what they know, right? And so then the question is it legally possible to pay 0 taxes in retirement? You have to have a conversation with Eddie and I, but the answer is yes, usually it is, if you plan correctly. We have a Retire at Zero seminar we put on about that. Clients I work with a lot, young doctors, business owners, individuals and families, that makes up most of it. Great referral sources are estate attorneys, CPAs, relocation experts. They see when changes occur in people's lives. And some of those key changes are when you get married and have kids or grandkids, retirement or getting near it, even 10, 15, 20 years out, job changes, major purchases, death of a loved one or divorce. So big changes in people's lives. There may not be anything that's needed to be done, but it's an important time to review your plan. What's a great way to introduce me? I like a joint email or coffee or lunch, something like that, which I have an expense account, so I'll treat. Don't send this recording to my boss, but no kidding. But an introduction, Tom B. and Joe Macdonald. Tom and Joe, wanted to introduce you both so that you can help Tom with his financial planning needs. Just a quick introduction title, very simple. A brief description of how you know each other, how we know you. Tom's a good friend who wants to review his retirement options, but definitely not this year. He's got a few years left. Tom B is Tom Brady, by the way, in case anybody didn't get that. Joe's my financial advisor, looks a lot at my clients, friends, etc. He's basically Tom Brady of financial planning. And then phone numbers, put cell phones for myself and the client. I won't call them until we've connected by email. But that's a great way. You got to get the information, let people know what they're looking for, and provide some very brief. We don't go too much into that because we're going to go over that all in the meetings that we have. So that's it for me, Joe Macdonald. I'm the regional financial consultant, financial advisor for the chapter. It's my phone number and email. Want to congratulate the Eagles fans again. They worked hard and they deserve it. And then we will see you next year. As the great Bill Belichick says, we're already on to next year. So. You have a minute left or so, I guess. So if there's 1 or 2 quick questions, this was my new presentation style. I went to one that said, rapid fire, so people stay entertained and interested. Any questions that people have really quickly for the next minute? Eddie.
As far as education of your clients is concerned, where does that fall in a priority ranking for you?
It's really the most important thing. So me understanding, I ask the questions like what Jim introduced me with. Ask the questions and really listen, because I want to understand what's important to you. Take where you're at today, where you want to be in the future, and find the most optimal way to get there. But if we're not on the same page about what taxes mean or what investments mean, because that's my profession, it's what I do all the time. It's not everybody in this room's profession. Well, I have no clue about interior design, but when Adrienne came into my house, she educated me on that, and it was fantastic. Right? Yeah. She goes, "What have you done here?" No, but so that's really, education is one of the most important things. So. I will defer the remainder of my time back to the chapter. And I appreciate everybody's attention today, and thank you so much. Have a great day.